This is Khajuraho, brought to life by flashbulbs. In the heart of India, 1,000-year-old temples are simplified for the modern palate as erotica. Ancient art interpreted as ready-made sensation, served for the modern-day voyeur. For the voyeur, the Khajuraho temples mean open season. They have it easy. But for the pilgrims, it is not. They must pause. If it seems that the answers are difficult, it may be because the right questions are not asked.
It is very unfortunate that the media, popular films, and tourist industry have associated Khajuraho sculptures with the Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra is a handbook of love which was written in the 5th century AD, about 600 years before the Khajuraho temples were built. It deals with studied sex and classification of postures, which has nothing to do with Khajuraho sculptures. We are missing what Khajuraho has contributed to world art, for Khajuraho architects have presented the temples as models of cosmos.
The story of Khajuraho began in the 9th century AD when the Chandela chieftains came to power. Legend holds that the moon god was infatuated by a young maiden bathing in the river. The union between a mortal and a deity resulted into a son, the first king of the Chandela dynasty, who offered his respect to the gods by building magnificent temples. Today, 1,000 years later, the temples of Khajuraho stand tall and loud, testifying the passage of time.
This is a historical town, Khajuraho, whose ancient name was Khajuraho, and it was a capital town of the Chandela Rajput princes who ruled here in the vast area called Jejakabukti. And it was a large temple town of about 21 kilometers or 8 miles. And legend says that there were 85 temples here, of which now 25 remain.
Let us begin our journey at this highly synchronized Vaikuntha temple. The Chandela king Yashovarman built this temple especially to enshrine the marvelous image of Vaikuntha, an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. From the porch or the Ardha Mandapa, we can see deep into the sanctum or Garbhagriha, where the composite image of Vishnu resides. The god is a composite figure with heads of lion, man and boar.
In this shrine of Vaikuntha, we have the darshana or vision of the Vishwarupa form of Vishnu, the boundless universal form which is omnipotent, omnipresent. Also on the door gem, you will see the river goddess Ganga and river goddess Yamuna on that side with her tortoise mount and she with her makara or crocodile mount. And again they are paired. They purify the devotee as he enters the temple.
The majestic 4 feet tall Vaikuntha image is an essential part of this temple. The idol is standing on a pedestal, along with the snake-hooded earth goddess seated on a cosmic tortoise. Vaikuntha is the highest personal god, an incarnation of the Supreme Being, Paravasudeva, who is the creator of the universe, and is without beginning or end.
गंभीरों बुधया शशांकरुचिमान् भास्वत्प्रतापोज्ज्वलो धीरो धात्री महामहीधरवरा कल्पद्रुमास्त्यागवान् आकल्पाद
The architect has been able to present this temple as Vishwarupa, the boundless universal form of Vishnu. It celebrates Vishnu as the universe.
Consecrated in AD 954, it is one of the few temples at Khajuraho that is still well preserved. Built in the northern Indian Nagara style of architecture, it stands on Jagati or platform. The temple facade has three main parts. The Pitta or the base depicts the life and times 1,000 years ago. Alongside are seemingly simple renderings of geometrical designs. The Janga or the wall is home to innumerable celestial maidens, griffins, couples, and divinities. Finally, the Shikara or spire. It's a roof symbolizing ascent towards the heavens. At Khajuraho, we find two main philosophies of Shaivite and Vishnuite beliefs. Both these systems are based on the emanation concept, which involves a hierarchy of deities. From the highest reality, there is emanation of cosmic elements, one emerging from the other, up to the gross earth element during the creation of the universe. Ultimately, all elements are reabsorbed into the Supreme Being during the process of dissolution. The Supreme Being is both formless and with form. The devotee cannot attain self-realization or moksha without an image of the highest reality and his innumerable other forms. Facing the Vaikuntha temple is a mandapa or shrine built for the fantastic icon of the zoomorphic boar or Yagna Varaha. The monolithic image of the Varaha carved out of one massive sandstone is about 3 meters in length and 2 meters in height. The Varaha is an interesting symbol of the ancient Vedic Puranic cosmology. In ancient texts, the various parts of the boar's body are compared to the parts of the yagna, or Vedic sacrifice. In the 4th and 5th century AD, the Varaha becomes a metaphor for king and was employed by them as victory symbols. This is the third incarnation of Vishnu, and it symbolizes the event when Lord Vishnu takes form of a giant boar and then rescues Goddess Earth on his tusk from the cosmic deluge that occurs every 420 billion 300 million years in mythic time. Although the image of Mother Earth is missing, the beautiful feet remain, testifying how wonderful the image must have been. The image of boar amazingly hosts carvings of 670 deities on its body.
the seven seas and the Dikpalas, the regions of space, they are on each of his feet, and on the necklace there are about 32 divinities. On the two sides are the planets, the grahas, and Surya and Chandra, sun and moon, are near his eyes, and the goddesses are also on the two sides, and Saraswati on his nozzle. And there are these four Kumaras, Sanakadi Kumaras, who are praising the Lord as he emerged from the waters, bringing Prithvi with him. And the 2 feet of Prithvi are seen here. They are very well carved. This is one of the earliest shrines of Khajuraho, and it was built in about AD 900, and you can see that it is made of rough granite, and it is on a high platform of granite boulders, and it consists of a rectangular courtyard with 65 cells. This is an open air shrine.
Standing aloof and modest is the Chauset Yogini Temple, built in AD 900. Elevated on a platform of 18 feet, the temple is a shrine to 64 yoginis, or companions to the highest mother goddess. There are no images left on the temple today, as it stands beaten by the winds of time. But the temple still has 51 tiny cells that used to host the deities. Built according to the ritual requirements of the Yogini cult, the temple is striking in its form, with a simple quadrangular center and hardly any visible engravings.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
There are hundreds of images of Shiva, his manifestations, on this great temple. Depiction of these images is not carried on further above the Shukanasa, which is the entablature above the roof of the Antarala, the vestibule. There you see only the rhythm of the ascent and descent of the mini spires, 84 in number, clustering around the center in graded positions.
Yasya pretavanam nivasu bhavanam bhutai prabhutvam prashanam.
The influence of the 5th century religious movement of Tantrism is visible at Khajuraho. Tantrics believed in Shakti, or female energy, and its role in the creation of the universe. This is also shared by both Vishnuite and Shaivite sects of Hinduism. This grand Khanderia Mahadev temple, built in AD 1030, is an architectural structure that symbolizes the metaphysical elements of Shaiva Tantrism. It does this with a dance of euphoric images sprouting in and around the temple facade. Many of these are female figures. These celestial beauties, or Surasundaris, have their auspicious influence as alankara, or decoration on the body of the temple. These sensuous sculptures capture the female form in infinitely different actions, from decorating their hair to adjusting their clothing. They pulsate throughout the temple, from the Janga to the Shikara.
Yasya pretavanam nivasu bhavanam bhutai prabhutvam prashanam bhutir bhushanam mangarajara.
There are hundreds of figures of celestial beauties, or apsaras, also called Surasundaris, on the temples of Khajuraho, and we wonder why there are so many. Actually, they can be traced to the fertility figures, the yakshis and the vegetation spirits of the ancient art.
The architectural texts called Shilpa Prakasha, found from the 10th to the 11th century, ordain the carving of female figures on temple wall because of their auspicious significance.
The writer of this text says, as a house without a wife, as frolic or joke without a woman, so a temple will be of mediocre quality and will bear no fruit. One theme which I find quite fascinating in connection with Khajuraho is the theme of Surasundari with scorpion on her leg, which is trying to throw off, and that way shown undressing. Nudity exposure, which is a fertility rite. So it is poetically shown on the pretext of removing a scorpion.
The Sanskrit word for scorpion is Khajura, and the scorpion bearer is called Khajura Vahaka, which is also the ancient name of Khajuraho. This scorpion-bearing woman becomes a pun on the part of the artist. Does the Tantra explain the significance of couples in union, which has gained Khajuraho such worldwide notoriety?
In the temples built between AD 500 and 900, erotic motif is almost conventionalized in temple art because it was believed to be of good omen and symbolize regeneration of life. Therefore, it was accepted as an auspicious motif, as a protective motif, apotropaic in significance. But the point where they have particularly emphasized this motif is the juncture of the great hall, the Mahamandapa, and the sanctum. Exactly on that belt they have concentrated and placed the erotic theme, and here they are trying to say something else which is much beyond erotic. I could find that there are also puns and double meaning language used in the employment of the erotic themes on the juncture wall.
The Tantrics didn't believe in exposing their doctrine to the lay people, so they employ Sandhya Bhasha or twilight language instead.
I have a feeling that Sandhya Bhasha, some sort of tantric language, is used in the erotic figures to say something non-erotic, some sort of yogic philosophical concept by which they are trying the union of the opposites.
The architects of Khajuraho also had a more practical reason for such depictions. They are used to hide the Kama Yantra, the tantric module, while they delight the laymen. The rich treasure of Khajuraho is still being unearthed. The Archaeological Survey of India has recently excavated one more temple believed to be the largest in Khajuraho. Known as Vaidyanatha or Healer, the newest temple is dedicated to the god Shiva. It was built in AD 1000. harvest of symbolism and rich allegory that transcends religion and eroticism, the temples of Khajuraho are a window into the structure of the universe. The dramatic images on the temple walls tell a story about humans worshipping gods. Apart from the sensuous sculptures and visually pleasing icons, the temples of Khajuraho seem to be telling a different story. These ancient temples have preserved perplexing mysteries of the universe, a story of the cosmos, of human and the divine, of time and timelessness. Standing as gracious mountains, the Khajuraho temples are articulating philosophy into a dramatic visual language. With so much to be understood at Khajuraho, is it any wonder that many who come to ogle remain to bear obeisance?
कंठे तिष्ठति कालकूटमशिवो एवं शिवा त्वच्चितं सर्वव्याधिविनिहरश्चराचरधरः पापास्तवाल